So anyways, my point was what I think the biggest fuck up that people are doing is they're trying to do SEO like it's 2019, and they need to do it this way instead.
Welcome to the Push Press Podcast,
where gym owners learn to dodge bad advice, crush the competition, and actually make money doing what they love. Let's get after it.
All right. So something that I think is really interesting for us to dive into today is marketing. We haven't done an episode on marketing yet. And these are one of those episodes that's always a little bit scary because marketing is part science, part art. There's a lot of different directions you can go with all things marketing, and it also changes so freaking fast. If there's one thing that I know, it's that marketers ruin everything. So the minute something becomes good, everyone floods to it, overdoes it.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, it ain't popular anymore, right? Have we ever heard of a 6-week challenge? Like that type of thing. So let's spend some time today and dive into what do we think the trends in marketing are looking like as we move through 2025, and maybe give some tips here.
Yeah, I think one thing you touched on there that I loved is, generally speaking, whenever I notice something becomes a trend, I'm trying to figure out how to do the opposite. Because like you said, marketers will sell what's working until it stops working, and it only stops working because the consumers catch on and they become deaf to it. And so it's like, I think by the time you're starting to hear it being sold everywhere, you're already past that initial wave where it all works for everybody, and you're heading into the decline.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I think another way that I look at it is, what got my attention? Why did it get my attention? And is that core thing that worked? Is there some life?
Is there a different way to do it
in that? Is there something I can steal from the core that doesn't play out, that doesn't fall into getting played out with what the main playbook looks like, right? Mm-hmm. One of the ones, and we never end up doing this, but I tell this all the time, that got me as a gym owner was I received a snail mail packet. It was like the postcard of, it was like a thick, it is like do not bend envelope. I'm like, some pictures in here? Who sent me pictures? And I opened it up, and it was basically a slideshow, more or less, of a software product. And it was like a accounting software. And I was like, this is genius.
Like they sent you the deck?
Yeah, exactly. But it wasn't like paper. It was something that you had to open because it was too valuable to throw away. And I didn't buy it. But in my head, I've always been like, that's how you capture attention, right? That's one way to do it.
Yeah.
So anyways, so yeah, you ready? You want us to dive right in?
Yes, I'm in.
All right. So there's something that you are known for around Push Press in some ways, which is your spelling errors that you have always intentionally left in there. And so the first highlight here I want to jump into is that I think human beats perfect. Do you want to maybe kick us off on like why you do that, or maybe why you just said, you know what, screw it, I'm leaving them in?
Yeah, I mean, the spelling error thing is just, that's how I communicate naturally. Like I've mentioned this many times before. I can't type as fast as I can think, and stopping my train of thought to go and fix typing, like I'm already 3 sentences further. Like it makes it worse. So for the most part, like I just bang the whole thing out and send it. Sometimes after I get the whole thing banged out, I will look for the most egregious spelling errors and right click on it and fix it. But that's just how I communicate. And like I think I've said on this podcast before, like people just learn how to speak Dan here. However, whenever I write an email or anything from a marketing lens, this kind of, well, actually, let me back up. You know what this is? It's like whenever you write an email from a marketing lens, you don't talk like yourself anymore. You talk like you write, not like you speak. And I think when you're marketing, you should write like you speak, not write like you write. Mm-hmm. Like for some reason, the minute we start writing, we turn into like, I don't know, English professors and shit. And
hello, Daniel.
Yeah.
Comma, enter.
Yeah, I would never say that. I'd be like, yo, like when I see you, when I'd be like, hello, Nick. I would never say hello, right? In fact, I wouldn't even say, hey, Nick.
Yeah.
Like I'd be like, yo, what's up? Like, so like that's how I write my emails very specifically. And like every time someone new comes into marketing, I'm like, no, do not touch my email. Like leave it as it is. This is how I write. This is how I talk. And I want my emails to read like I talk.
Yeah.
And that includes spelling errors sometimes. And I leave them in.
Which is I think when we talk about what do the trends look like, there are so many AI email composing tools. Like AI is, good at like writing in general. And so we're we already can look at an email and go, that's AI.
Mhm.
We get spammed a ton from vendors trying to sell us stuff, and it's very clear when something's AI and when it's not. So I have this, it's like between all of the Sora videos and all the stuff that's so perfectly polished out there now. Uh, I actually believe that human, like obvious human, is going to stand out more than perfectly polished as we continue to move forward. Because when everything is catered to what the world knows about you as an individual, what it knows about your members as individuals, it's gonna be like everything's perfect for
Mhm.
you. So like that little imperfection is gonna be what captures attention, and that's ultimately what we're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, this is years ago, but when I used to be the marketer here at Push Press, I would run paid ads, and the ones that always outperformed they were meme ads. It was like a woman walking into a wall that I just stole off Reddit, and then I put like, "This is what it feels like owning a gym," or something like that. But it was like a meme. Like it was the grainiest video, super unpolished. I wrote it with like, Microsoft Paint or something, and threw it up there, and it would always outperform. Like all the ones where I had a graphic designer make a little pretty ad or whatever. And then it kind of dawned on me that like when I'm scrolling my social feed, I skip right past ads and I look at memes because memes are like shit people make to make funny jokes, you know?
Mhm.
And so, yeah, for the most part, I do think in some regards, I've said this in other episodes, social media is changing some now where like the level of quality, if you're going to make a reel, can't just be you sitting in a car talking to a camera anymore. Like you used to be able to do that before. I think there's a little bit that's changed there. But if I was going to send a video to a customer, I literally can just pull up my phone. Yo, Shayna, I saw your email. Just want to reply to your video. Here it is. Like you can do that raw.
Yep.
One take. Doesn't matter if you mess up. Just
Yep.
send it.
But, even that, sending a video, it's getting to the point where, I've been testing my own Nick AI avatar. There are going to be, and right now you can stand up on platforms like HeyGen, an AI avatar of nobody.
Yep.
That could be a talking head. Like there are going to be AI avatars that speak directly to you and what their system knows about you. So even like this podcast, it's authentically
Doesn't have to be us
Nick
anymore.
and Dan. It
Yeah.
doesn't, yeah, but
Or is it?
it doesn't have to be. Yeah,
Am I AI?
you always know because the hands.
Oh, yeah. How many fingers you got?
But I guess the point is like this is authentically us, and that's what will stand out.
It just goes back to that initial point I made when we kicked off. Like when the industry zigs, you zag, always with marketing. And yeah, dude, this year you're gonna be getting fucking calls, video calls from AI fake bot things.
Mm-hmm.
And when that happens, just be real. Like just go and walk up to someone face to face and shake their hand.
Yes.
Do the opposite. It's so easy.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, our next point here is tell a damn story, right? So, uh, it's well known that like brand marketing is essentially dead. People buy from people, they connect with people. So we're starting to see where brands are actually hiring influencers, not within their normal chain, but to be have a separate story arc following, their journey into running and why Nike is their brand of choice and all of this, right? So like we just did a whole episode on storytelling that we'll publish, of course, and you can dive into there to get more. But like storytelling really is like the crux of what captures people's attention at this point.
Storytelling is, and I think especially what you're talking about, the personal story. Whether it's you as the gym operator slash owner, or if it's your members, people just are interested. Everyone, everything, even AI, to be honest, right now is interested in the human story.
Yep.
So yeah, lean into that.
Yep. I mean, you can look at Netflix and how they did the Drive to Survive. They did Full Swing. They did The Quarterback. I mean, sports now have evolved beyond let me watch a game, which has been what it's been since the NFL was created in the 50s or 60s or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, you watch a baseball game, there's 18 stories on the field.
Yep, exactly.
What about the bananas? It's bananas.
Yeah, like it's going bonkers at this point. Now, to that point, maybe we get tired of stories, because
it's overplayed.
I doubt it, but we'll see.
We are wired as humans to be attracted to stories, so I don't see the trend away from brand and into personal changing anytime soon.
I don't either. Next one. I call this one funnel, not megaphone. So I think when most small business owners post content, they generally take it from the approach of that was cool, let me toss it out there. And instead, content needs to map towards where someone is at in the buyer's journey if you want them to actually consume your product or service at some point in the future. So, your 3 stages are going to be awareness. So, oh, crap, your gym exists. I am now aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's consideration, which is like, oh, they know a thing or two. They might be able to solve my problem. And then decision, which is I'm going to go book my consult, sign up, buy from them. And if you look at a gym like Kansas Athletic Club, which we referenced on an earlier recorded episode, some of the goofy stuff that's out there, like the, lady kicking the water bottle that you catch, take a drink and, like throw it back to her. She kicks it back. Like that type of thing is like, just get awareness. You're looking for reach, people to go, oh, that's funny. Oh, they're in my city. Cool. They exist.
Yeah.
They're not buying from that. You've done nothing to demonstrate that you're an expert at what you do. But so you have to start sprinkling in. Now that I have your attention, here's what we do. Here's how we do it. Here's why we do it.
Yeah.
Those types of reels, and continue to move through. So funnel, not megaphone. Anything to maybe add on there?
The thing I would think is like you have to continually do all of these, because even if I'm in the awareness stage, I might dip into consideration, but then another one of your funny ones will come across my like the awareness ones are just like they're hooks to bring you back to like if you're doing meme stuff or stitches or whatever, following trends. So it's not like you literally funnel your content where you're doing one for a while and then another for a while.
Correct.
You just have to do them all.
Correct. Absolutely. You have to continue to sprinkle them in all across the board.
Let me throw a bonus topic in here.
Ooh.
So 3.A.
I like bonus.
Content is the free way to test marketing, right? In general. So even if you wanted to run paid ads or you want to figure out like, dive deeper into a blog topic or whatever, the content is the free, dirty, easy, fast, throwaway version of anything that you want to say. And so like if you want to test headlines, like if you're going to do paid ads and you want to test headlines, you could build 10 versions of the same content. You throw it on TikTok because as far as I understand, TikTok does not penalize you for publishing the same video. Throw them all on TikTok together and then just see which one gets more eyeballs or more clicks or more interaction or whatever. And then you're like, okay, then you can continue to refine like your headlines, your test. You can test for free. So that's kind of like an interesting way. I know people who create like 4 or 5 versions of the same reel but test the hook up front. So if you look at their page, it's like 5 videos, just all the same shit over and over and over again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Funny you say that. I made a blog post this past week or last week, and what I decided to test on it was whenever I post the link to the blog on Instagram as a story, I'm actually not going to give a summary of what the blog is about. I'm going to open it with a story, and before the story gets to its first like pull-in point, I just stopped it, dot. Wanted to see what the engagement was. Best performing blog I've written. So there was, to your point, you can test things and go, I wonder if this works. How does this work? Let me throw it out there, but then just look at the engagement, look at the, and then move forward with it, right?
Yeah. Truth be told, for me, the reason I started doing content years ago was for that reason. Like I just wanted to test, how do I communicate things? What am I trying to talk about? What resonates with people in my market, in my audience? And it works.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
So This next one, and we might get down a rabbit hole here, but bear with us, is AI SEO.
Mm-hmm.
So there, I think, are traditional SEO tactics, and I would say all of the things that you currently hear marketers step on stage or do podcasts about, like, it's running its course. Everyone's tried to hack the Google algorithms for years and years and years and years and years and years, and AI is radically changing how we approach all of that.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. I mean, in short, all the stuff that we know to date about SEO is pretty much dead, or dying. It'll be dead soon. And I think, in my opinion, where this goes to is you have to be producing content. Specifically, you have to be producing content that now no longer can you keyword stuff some page on your website and just rank for something. Pretty soon, in fact, there probably is not going to be any more map pack, any of that, because AI is just going to tell someone what to do. So there's no point. Like, gym near me concept is dead for all intents and purposes.
Yep.
Um,
Let's before we go deeper, let's just unpack maybe why that's the case. And I'll lead off here. It's like what we've talked about with several individuals already here this weekend has been people are going less to Google and saying, find a gym near me. They're going less to Google Maps and saying, find a, gym near me or whatever. And instead, they're going to ChatGPT, or they're even going to Google and they're just looking at the AI result. They're querying Google in different ways that they haven't normally done.
Yep.
And then why would I scroll down a page?
Yeah.
Google gave me the damn answer at the top.
Yeah. So what it essentially is AI has created a speed to information, and it's training people to ask deeper questions earlier. So before, where you might say, best fried chicken near me, since we're in Nashville, you might say, best fried chicken with the sweet up front, but very spicy on the back, who serves high-end pickles, waffle French fries, and beer on tap.
Dude, I'm so hungry.
But you see what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
that is going to be natural search cadence pretty soon. I already do that. That's how I search now. I just ask everything I need to know up front, because I know with a little bit of, like, 8 more misspelled words up front, AI will give me exactly what I'm looking for, down to like 1 or 2 things.
Yep.
So I actually stopped using Google for a while because I was getting all my answers from Perplexity and OpenAI, ChatGPT, and all that kind of stuff. But now Google's like, fuck that. Like, I want the search traffic back. So now if you ask it detailed enough, you will always get an AI answer on top. And you can already see where Google's going with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's just not going to be search results anymore. It's just going to be like, why would there be? They've always said that they're trying to make the ability for someone to find something on the internet the fastest as possible, and that is the fastest as possible.
Yep. They're going to have to figure out how to monetize it, but they will.
They'll monetize it with the same ads and stuff. They'll pepper ads through it. But here's the thing: is like a year ago, maybe 18 months ago, AI was like trained on 2022 data or something. Like, it was, it was like, we don't know who won the Super Bowl in 2024. Like, remember, I don't know if you remember asking some of that shit.
I do.
But yeah. Last week, I've written a series of blog posts, and I went into the ChatGPT and asked, like, I wrote a series of blog posts about our operating tenets. I'm only through 10. I got more to do. But I just wanted to see, and I was like, what are PushPress's operating tenets? I asked ChatGPT, and you can ask Google too, same thing. And both of them came back with all of our operating tenets in order. Like, they were indexing it daily now.
That's mind-boggling.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll kind of get into this about the AI SEO stuff, but it's like you put up content that AI doesn't know, can't know, and can only know through your content, and it will find it and index it, and you will be, ranking for that quick.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%. And it's only going to get scarier as we start seeing AI begin to penetrate, if Apple ever catches up, like iOS, where you're asking, Siri for a response, and it's not giving you a Google search result. It's giving you the result that you need. Like, we're going to have speed of data so far in front of us that, again, it's going to kill everything that we're currently doing.
Yes. Yeah. So this is going to be a rapidly evolving field. I do think there's definitely, like, I've proven it with my blog post that I didn't even intend for this to happen, but you can get your stuff indexed into the AIs pretty quick, and AI will spit it back as part of their reference to answers. But you actually have to write stuff that is ultimately massively informational for AI.
Yes, let's maybe dive into that. What are some of those areas? I think before we started recording here, we talked about, if you're a local gym and you want your information to be picked up by AI, one of the ways that we can do it is by working with, you know, partners or other businesses within your region, right?
Yeah, so the first thing, let me take one step back because there's actually a topic that's important. We're over time, but we're gonna keep going.
All good.
There's a concept called eat content. And that's only funny because I say AI eats everything, but it's EEAT, right? Expertise, experience, authenticity, and transparency and trust, right? So you have to write posts in a local sense that drive all of those things. And the beautiful thing about this, to be honest, is like gyms have everything they need to do that. They have expertise within their four walls, whatever they train their clients and all that kind of thing, right? They're trained to do it. They have licensure or whatever in the space that they're in. They have the experience, so they're actually really in the gyms working with people. They're not just some AI bot hypothesizing about
Hmm.
what's happening. And on top of that, they have members. So, like, if you get a member review and you surface that in a blog post, that's showcasing your expertise and experience, because it's actually happening and it's stuff AI doesn't know. The authority. So this is a piece that partnerships will come in. So I'll skip that for a second. The A part and trustworthiness. Like, you're making sure that the AI bots that are spidering your site know, like, who wrote it, what kind of, what do you have an affiliation with the gym or whatever that wrote it, why are you picking things for local content? Like, you have to establish some type of trustworthiness, right, for them to know that we should cite you.
Hmm.
The authority part's the interesting part because if you work for Torrance Training Lab and your blog posts are all about why Torrance Training Lab is the best gym in Torrance to X, eventually they're gonna be like, oh, this guy's self-serving, right? So while he might have authority or she might have authority, it's like this isn't really good content. It's biased. So I think this is where the partnerships come in because you start to write about other people around you, which spreads makes it way less biased, which is important for this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and there's a bunch of different ways to maybe leverage partnerships, and this is a key one, right? Because of everything that you just outlined. But I think in general, the way that I look at partnerships and why they made the list here is that costs are up significantly for all small businesses, and a lot of small businesses are struggling. They're looking for how do I get in front of more customers? They're looking for or more potential customers. How do I retain my customers? How can I get growth without spending a ton more? And I have this theory that small businesses are going to need to circle the wagons and help each other out more than what they have in the boom years when, hell, you could open up the doors to anything and it was going to survive and be fine, right? So if that's the case, then how can you work with the local daycare to have them do on your blog? Or like one of the things I've seen a gym do recently is work with a partner to donate committed club prizes or buy committed club prizes at a fraction of the cost, right? So how can we find these synergistic relationships with other businesses that serve a similar avatar as you, right? So to me, that's where we have to go when economy is struggling a little bit.
Yeah. So let me actually give you a real world example of how we can use that with this EAT concept
Hmm.
to actually leverage AI SEO. Um, so you do a committed club, and a random winner of the committed club gets a night of babysitting at the local babysitting service or whatever, an Italian dinner for two, and I don't know, a glass of wine at the wine cork, whatever you call it, bottle shop. Okay, so you got three people involved.
Hmm.
When you run the committee club, they all know that that's going to happen. It's promoted as the prize. When the committee club's over, you pick a winner, but don't just interview the winner. Like, interview the winner. Interview a couple of the people that were in committee club. Oh, I wish I would win the prize. Like, I love that wine. That's my favorite bottle shop. Yada yada yada. Write a blog post. Like, we ran our committee club. We're stoked this month. Like, 49% of our members made the committee club. This month's prize is Italian dinner, babysitting, parents' night out, a night out on the town without your kids. You get wine, you get this, you get other, donated by this, donated by that. The owner of the bottle shop had this quote: "We love to support the members of our local community." The owner of the babysitting thing, like, "We have services available for everyone. We love working," whatever. And then you pick the winner, you announce the winner, you post it. That's something that gives the AI, like, they don't care that you ran a committee club, but they do care to know, like, the details of, like, this babysitting service works inside Torrance and, is supporting of other members of the community. Because, like, you got to think through the long tail keywords people will ask. What are some babysitting services that are in Torrance that, work on a Friday night, right? Like that type of thing. And that's where this will get pulled in by AI and become, like, searchable.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a tactic.
It's going to take some time, but that is how you win it.
It is. It is. The issue will be, if you don't do it, you'll be left behind, ultimately. Just like if you didn't do anything with SEO, what will eventually happen is, the large businesses with these massive marketing budgets, the large franchises, they will swoop in and do it, because I guarantee you, the CMO of Orange Theory is like, how do we make sure we stay on top of the search game here? And they're already moving down this path.
Yeah, I do think that the way boutiques can win is we have the authentic stories of the people that are coming to the gym, and it's just a little more real than some of the stuff that's happening in the non-boutique space. Not to say that those stories aren't real. I just think the way that they get surfaced and the way the community is developed is different in our space. And so we actually have more of a right to win, but we have less time and energy and ability to do it. I think that's the problem.
Yep.
Yeah.
So those are it. Those are our trends for, moving forward. Obviously, things change quick. If we come across anything else we feel is changing, we'll obviously do an update to the episode. What I would like to know, Dan's going to come up with a better question than me, because that's what we've been doing, but it's okay. What marketing tactic have you tried recently that completely failed or succeeded wildly? I want to know. Not Nick at pushpress.com. You can email me, but podcast at pushpress.com. Thanks a lot, guys.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Push Press Podcast, where we help gym owners, entrepreneurs, and fitness enthusiasts thrive with actionable insights, inspiring stories, and strategies for growth.
Don't forget to follow the show to stay updated on new episodes. And if you're ready for more, join our free Facebook community for gym owners. Check the show notes for the link, and we'll see you next time. Keep raising the bar for your business and community.